You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Midday News starts now.
It's another dreary day in North Alabama, and the clouds speak for themselves, and those raindrops do too. We're expecting more storms. WAAY 31 meteorologist Carson Meredith tracking the timing for us.
Plus, Casey White will have to wait several months before he learns if his trial will move out of Lauderdale County. We tell you the latest rulings from a judge there.
Survivors on recent gun violence testifying on Capitol Hill today, the latest in the debate on gun control laws. Thanks so much for joining us for WAAY 31 Midday News. I'm Megan Reyna.
And I'm Chris Tatum. Right now, we want to get right over to WAAY 31 storm tracker meteorologist Carson Meredith.
Yeah, Carson, you saw it there. There were some raindrops on that tower cam. Still expecting just another rainy day, I guess.
Yeah, it's really a carbon copy, guys, the last couple of days. But if there's one difference with our forecast this afternoon, have a little bit of a higher chance to see severe storms. Let's show you what's happening here at midday on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Nothing severe for the time being. We are watching this one thunderstorm that is just now moving out of our Shoals counties and going right through the northern half of Lawrence County. Moulton seeing very heavy rain right along the Alabama 20 corridor as well. Hillsborough, Town Creek, Cortland, even stretching all the way up towards Rogersville, right there at the 72-43 split just outside of Florence. Main concern with this thunderstorm is heavy rain and a ton of lightning. There's the storm track that's moving off to the east and southeast at around 30 miles per hour. It has weakened just a little bit over the last few radar scans, so we'll watch the trends closely throughout our newscast. But that track shows the storm near Decatur downtown by about 11:10, then Athens by 11:30, Madison by 11:45, and here in Huntsville just after noon today. There is that view in Decatur. You can see the dark clouds on the horizon, temperatures in the lower 80s in most spots, 82 degrees in Decatur. And there's that severe weather outlook. A little bit of a change from our morning newscast. You notice the level 2 risk is now just confined to our Alabama counties. We'll walk you through future radar, give you the latest timing on our severe storm potential today, and talk about even more rain later this week in a few minutes.
All right, well, even though it's been rainy, it's still been hot.
And sticky and steamy and all those things,
And it's about to get more expensive to cool your house this summer.
Yeah, Huntsville Utilities confirms it will soon have to raise rates to offset the cost of generating power. Now, Huntsville Utilities gets its power from TVA and says right now it's costing TVA a whopping 3 times what it usually costs to generate electricity. Well, they blame that cost on fuel prices, inflation, and more people needing electricity and gas these days.
The most significant impact is the cost of natural gas. Our power is provided to us by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and TVA, in a demand response role, uses natural gas for peak demand. And natural gas is about 3 times more expensive today than it was a little over a year ago.
Well, Huntsville Utilities leaders don't yet know exactly when rates will go up or by how much. Well, right now, survivors and family members of those victims of the mass shootings in both Uvalde, Texas and Buffalo, New York, testifying on Capitol Hill.
And if I've heard a little bit of it this morning, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's hard to listen to. ABC's Ika Joche is on Capitol Hill, though, with the latest on the demand for Congress to do something.
Today, lawmakers on Capitol Hill listening to the families and survivors of the massacres in Buffalo and Uvalde, pleading with them to do something.
Today, we will examine the destruction and heartbreak that gun violence is causing across our country.
Family members like Zenata Everhart, whose son was shot and injured at the mass shooting in Buffalo.
I continuously hear after every mass shooting that this is not who we are as Americans and as a nation. Hear me clearly. This is exactly who we are.
And survivors like 11-year-old Maya Cirillo, who survived the attack at Robb Elementary by covering herself in her classmates' blood and playing dead.
And I got my teacher's phone and called 911.
What did you tell 911?
I told her that we need help.
I come because I could have lost my baby girl.
Also testifying, Dr. Roy Guerrero, Uvalde, Texas's only pediatrician, who was at Uvalde Memorial Hospital, describing the carnage he witnessed that day.
I know I will never forget what I saw that day.
Now, all focus is on Congress, which is feeling pressure from constituents and actor Matthew McConaughey to pass meaningful gun control legislation that might prevent similar attacks. Last week, President Biden calling on lawmakers to do something, asking for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. If not, he says Congress should raise the purchasing age from 18 to 21. Today, House Democrats bringing the Protect Our Kids Act to the floor for a vote. A group of bipartisan senators is working on a framework, but it'll likely be far more limited. For example, some Republicans have signaled that they wouldn't support raising the age limit to buy an assault rifle from 18 to 21. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Thank you so much for that report. Well, brand new at midday, accused killer Casey White will have to wait a while longer to learn if a judge will move his trial out of Lauderdale County. A judge just set that hearing for December 2nd. Now, White's lawyers asked the judge to move that trial because of all the attention he got from his recent escape and recapture. A judge also, by the way, approved a request prosecutors let him know if they plan to seek the death penalty against him.
Also new at midday, a Limestone County mother is now suing a school district and an employee over claims her child was abused at that school. A new lawsuit filed this week by the anonymous woman says her 12-year-old came home with bruises on his arms, legs, and bottom in November of last year. She says it's because of this instructional aide, an instructional aide, Robbie Patterson. Patterson was arrested last year for assaulting a child. It's unclear if he still works with the school district. And we're learning new information about a man police say stabbed 4 people. Huntsville police say Dexter Houghton has a warrant for attempted murder out of Montgomery. He faces 4 assault charges for the stabbing at the intersection of Academy Drive and Maston Lake Road last week.
Well, Huntsville police need to hire a few good men and women, and they're hosting a hiring event today to find candidates. It's at 5 o'clock this evening at the HPD's West Precinct on Clinton Avenue. Police department leaders will be there to help candidates better understand what all police officers do in the course of a regular day. They do invite anybody interested in serving their community to join them.
Huntsville City Council members worry the Rocket City might be growing too fast. The red area on this map shows the current city boundaries dipping into Morgan and Limestone, crossing I-65. Councilwoman Frances Akridge says it's getting too expensive for the city to provide services for all of this new territory.
They need to be cognizant of the cost of annexation. I have asked, what is the cost per mile to develop services? I can't get an answer because the mayor says nobody else wants to know. The new council should be asking those kinds of questions and getting an answer.
City leaders say the cost of annexation is different based on what's already on the land. Acreage says the city should instead focus on increasing density and redeveloping properties that are already part of the city limits.
Well, people in Henniger now have a better idea of what a medical marijuana processing plant might bring to their community. That processing company, RX Connections, hosted a town hall meeting last night. They say they chose DeKalb County for that new plant because of its people and say this new plant is far from a done deal.
We're here because of what we see in the people here. We see people who are hardworking. We see people who are committed.
It's industry. It's jobs, good paying jobs. 200 for this kind of an area is a huge, huge improvement.
Well, that company needs a license from Alabama's Medical Cannabis Commission before it can build that new plant in Henniger.
Well, a new mental health center is coming to North Alabama. The Decatur City Council and Morgan County Commission each allocated more than $500,000 to build a 16-bed unit. It'll be where the former state troopers building is located off U.S. Highway 31. The center is expected to be built by late next year. Meanwhile, a new multi-million-dollar crisis center is set to open in Huntsville by August. The Wellstone Crisis Center is located off the Parkway. It'll add up to 24 beds for extended observation, another 15 for temporary stays. But the work doesn't stop there. In a year, construction will begin on a wing dedicated to helping kids. That's not expected to be done for at least 2 years, but it's important for our community. New at midday, gymnasts and other victims of sports doctor Larry Nassar plan to file claims against the Justice Department and the FBI. Yeah, Nassar was convicted of several counts of sexual assault of minors. The victims are now looking for a total of about $1 billion, according to their legal team. They claim the FBI knew Nassar was a danger to children and worked to hide that information. Time is 11:09 right now, and tomorrow, U.S. lawmakers investigating the January 6th Capitol riot will hold their first public hearing. And they'll hear from two people who closely interacted with the far-right group, the Proud Boys. One was a documentarian who was following the group the day of the riot and that week leading up to it. 5 leaders of that group are charged with seditious conspiracy.
I think people are going to be absolutely surprised how much was known with multiple groups.
While criminal charges can't be handed down by the January 6th committee, they say the hearings will serve as a public record. The U.S. Treasury Secretary says you'll be paying higher prices until the end of the year at least.
How some stores are trying to help you save money right now.
No severe storms for the time being, but later on this afternoon, we'll be watching the threat for flash flooding, damaging winds, and large hail. We'll have the latest update on future radar coming up.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:13 right now. And well, in case you haven't noticed, you're paying a lot more even this week over last to fill up your gas tank.
I've noticed, Chris.
Yeah, me too. Well, AAA's latest survey shows prices are up 4 cents here in Alabama from last week. The average price of a gallon of regular unleaded now sits at about $4.57 a gallon. Now, nationally, the average is more than $4.90 a gallon. Well, Goodyear recalling more than 170,000 truck and RV tires. The company says it's looking to replace G159 tires made between 1996 and 2003. I'm guessing that those tires might be worn out anyway. But in any case, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says those tires are more prone to failure. Age might play a factor there. You can, though, get a free replacement, it says, at a Goodyear location.
My guess is that they were bought way after 2003, just made then.
Yeah, tires that sit still too long also dry rot. So just those are some old tires. Probably a good idea to replace them anyway.
I agree, Chris. All right, 11:14. Well, we know that these high prices is not just affecting drivers, affecting basically everyone in their everyday life. The U.S. Treasury Secretary says, though, inflation is at unacceptable levels. She testified before Congress. Janet Yellen says she expects inflation to remain high. She says the Federal Reserve is trying to bring prices down by raising interest rates, but some factors can't be controlled.
Putin's war in Ukraine is having impacts on energy and food prices globally. Inflation is really our top economic problem at this point, and that it's critical that we address it.
About this morning.
The Congressional Budget Office says high inflation will likely continue into next year. Well, if you are looking for a deal, many of us are. Target is cutting prices on home decor and electronics. They say there's an overflow of big ticket items. With inflation, many people are just buying the essentials like groceries. And it's not just Target offering some deals. Walmart and Gap are also looking to get rid of supply.
Well, more and more people are right now swiping their credit cards. Consumer credit surged by $38 billion in April. The total revolving credit for Americans right now stands at more than $1 trillion. Well, that breaks a record set just before the pandemic started. Economists say more credit card spending usually is a sign people are buying things they can't afford. Well, a fast food chain working right now to get food out even faster.
How Taco Bell's new drive-thru could save you time and looks like a bank almost.
Looks like a bank teller situation there, doesn't it?
We'll tell you more coming up. Welcome back. One fast food restaurant is hoping to make its food, well, faster.
We could all hope. So a brand new concept called Taco Bell Defy opened in Minneapolis. Has 4 drive-through lanes. Looks like a bank to me.
It literally looks like a bank.
And food is actually delivered through a vertical lift system. One lane is actually just for delivery drivers, and another is for people who have already ordered and paid using the Taco Bell app. Of course, the other 2 lanes are for folks just showing up saying, hey, we want to eat right now.
I'm convinced that was a bank and they turned it into the Taco Bell.
Once the order is assigned to the lane, we just verify the customer's name. We lift up the top of the lift, put the food in, push the 2 buttons, and it's on its way.
Well, a recent survey shows the average Taco Bell order takes 4.5 minutes to complete. What Taco Bell are they going to? So the company says the new restaurant looking to slash that by more than half. No, Taco Bell, they're usually fast, but if there's a lot of people there, it takes longer.
It does take long.
If this is faster, we're going to do this.
Okay, this looks nasty. Velveeta is teaming up with a beauty brand to launch its first ever nail polish collection. The two polish collection is called Pinkies Out. The nail paint comes in a deep yellow color reminiscent of the gooey cheese product, of course, and then a bright red that's used for the Velveeta packaging. This is what's nasty to me. Not only does it look like cheese, that's fine, the cute colors, it smells like it. I don't really like the smell of Velveeta by itself.
Don't know if I like the idea of somebody looking like they've been digging in a block of cheese.
Yeah. I will say the easiest queso to make is a block of Velveeta. This isn't authentic, but and then Rotel. There you go. And a little water.
Don't want your fingernails looking like it. Sorry.
Yeah. Just wanted to give a little bit of a little tip there. Okay, Carson Meredith, it is lunchtime. People shouldn't be eating outside for this lunch, probably not.
Yeah, probably not, guys. Those thunderstorms are going to be on the increase throughout the afternoon, but for the time being on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network, you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, the heavier storms this morning have stayed to our south. The second thing you'll notice is this one lone thunderstorm that's going right through downtown Decatur as we speak. Now, I will say since we came on air at 11 o'clock, this storm has weakened a little bit. Still plenty of lightning, very heavy rain right there along Alabama 20, along the belt line, 31 as well. This will continue to slowly meander the east and southeast for about the next hour. Not a guarantee that it makes its way towards Lacey Spring or South Huntsville or the Arsenal, but if you're in those places, southern Madison County, eastern Morgan County, heads up, you might be having this thunderstorm in your backyard again in the next 30 minutes to an hour. This is the area we'll be watching later on today. And as you look at it right now, you think it's just a bunch of rain. Well, that was actually a big cluster of thunderstorms that went through Arkansas earlier this morning. It has weakened now, but what's left of that will re-intensify. It'll set off new thunderstorms in northern Mississippi this afternoon, and those storms will move eastward into North Alabama. So we are certainly not out of the woods yet with our severe weather potential today. But right now on the WAAY 31 Skycam network, mostly cloudy skies wherever you are. Here in Huntsville, it's 80 degrees. Out in Muscle Shoals, it's 79, 77 in Guntersville, and it's 80 degrees in Decatur with that thunderstorm about to move into town. Grab the rain gear if you're in Decatur right now. You notice those thunderstorm chances are right around 50-50 as we speak, and then they go up to 60% starting around 2 o'clock today, and it stays in that 60% range until 9 o'clock tonight. That's the main window, not only for the highest rain chances, but also for a few of those strong to severe storms as well. And then we'll start to dry things out after midnight tonight. So for the Trash Pandas, it's going to be a close call. Somehow, some way, they got 9 innings of baseball in last night. I think we'll have some rain delays yet again tonight. First pitch still on for 6:35 though. We'll keep those temperatures around 80 with some of those scattered storms around. And then we transition more to just a few lingering storms with just plain showers by the time we get to the 7th inning tonight. Here we go with future radar. This latest update came down a few hours ago, but you notice by 4 o'clock this afternoon, here comes the first of those stronger storms into northwest Alabama. And look at how that coverage expands. By 6 o'clock this evening, there's 8 o'clock tonight. If you don't see heavy rain tonight, you are likely going to see very heavy rain as well as gusty winds. And on top of all the rain we saw yesterday, we just cannot take any more rain. So let's watch the flooding concerns too. We'll start to dry things out past sunset tonight. And looking ahead to Thursday, we'll get a nice break in all the rain we've had the last few days, only to have another round of showers and storms on the way Friday. But once we get past Friday, we'll enter an extended stretch of drier weather. Until then, though, we're going to see another 1 to 2 inches of rain, all again, just through the next 3 days. Look at that 7-day forecast. Once we do dry things out, the heat is on. We are back into the low 90s on Monday, heading for the hottest day of the year, 94 by next Tuesday.
Carson, thank you so much. Well, the Trash Pandas will have some extra fans at tonight's game.
Why you can bring furry guests to Toyota Field tonight.
Happening today, the Rocket City Trash Pandas looking to bounce back after a long night at Toyota Field.
Yeah, this after several rain delays. The Trash Pandas ended up losing their series opener against Mississippi Braves last night. Check this out, though. The Trash Pandas will have some furry friends cheering them on tonight's game. It's because it is
Dog Day.
Dog Day at the park. So first pitch, by the way, 6:35. So if you need a dog to bring with you, we got you covered here. Huntsville Animal Shelter wants to help because it is cutting adoption fees for most dogs down to just $10. doing this through Sunday. They hope that lower price will encourage people to come and find that forever friend and give it a forever home. And that will also help with overcrowding right now those shelters are dealing with. By the way, all those adopted dogs also come with a city license and a free bag of doggy food. Good deal.
Good deal.
Well, to the hardwood now. Both the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors will battle for a one-game lead in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Game 3 tonight at the TD Garden in Boston. Now, the Celtics were able to take one game while in the Bay Area, claiming home court advantage. Now you can watch Game 3 right here on WAAY 31, starting at 8. Auctioneers call this card the holy grail of sports collectibles. Lebron James trading card is expected to sell for more than $6 million. The triple logo man card is a single issue featuring the NBA All-Star with patches from jerseys that James wore with the Cavaliers, Heat, and Lakers. It was discovered after a year-long hunt during a live social media event. Whew.
Well, your utility bill expected to go up this summer.
We'll help you with some tips that will make you cool down once you see those things. Happening today, the Rocket City Trash Panda is looking to bounce back after a long night at Toyota Field.
Yeah, this after several rain delays. The Trash Pandas ended up losing their series opener against Mississippi Braves last night. Check this out, though. The Trash Pandas will have some furry friends cheering them on tonight's game. It's because it is
Dog Day.
Dog Day at the park. So first pitch, by the way, 6:35. So if you need a dog to bring with you, we got you covered here. Huntsville Animal Shelter wants to help because it is cutting adoption fees for most dogs down to just $10. Doing this through Sunday. They hope that lower price will encourage people to come and find that forever friend and give it a forever home. And that will also help with overcrowding right now those shelters are dealing with. By the way, all those adopted dogs also come with a city license and a free bag of doggy food. Good deal.
Good deal.
Well, to the hardwood now. Both the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors will battle for a one-game lead in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Game 3 tonight at the TD Garden in Boston. Now, the Celtics were able to take one game while in the Bay Area, claiming home court advantage. Now you can watch Game 3 right here on WAAY 31, starting at 8. Auctioneers call this card the holy grail of sports collectibles. LeBron James trading card is expected to sell for more than $6 million. The triple logo man card is a single issue featuring the NBA All-Star with patches from jerseys that James wore with the Cavaliers, Heat, and Lakers. It was discovered after a year-long hunt during a live social media event. Whew.
Well, your utility bill expected to go up this summer.
We'll help you with some tips that will make you cool down once you see those things.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Welcome back, everybody. You're right now taking a live look over Huntsville. This is courtesy of our WAAY 31 Sky Camera Network. As you see out there, it's a bit gloomy there as we are expecting some more storms this afternoon. We are so glad you're sticking with us, though, for WAAY 31 Midday News. I'm Chris Tatum.
And I'm Megan Reyna, and I'll tell you this. My dog is not happy with this weather, Carson. He hasn't been able to go to the park.
My garden's not happy with it.
Yeah, I get
Likes
it.
the rain, hates the damage.
Yeah, I get that. But you know what? Unfortunately, we have to deal with this stormy pattern again today. Let's show you what's happening right now here at 11:30 on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Fortunately, the storm coverage isn't too terribly widespread just yet. Just one storm I'm watching for you that's right in the heart of North Alabama, right on top of downtown Decatur. Still very heavy rain right there in Decatur on the bridges, of course. You head out towards 565 as well. This is not severe by any means, but obviously very heavy rain and a lot of lightning in Morgan County right now. So head inside. I would not suggest being outside for lunch at all today. And like I mentioned, this storm is kind of weakening just a little bit, but should it hold together, it's moving off to the east and southeast around 30 miles per hour. So that would put it in locations like Priceville, well, pretty much right about now. Somerville by 1140, Triana 1147, Lacey Spring 1201, Whitesburg, South Huntsville just after noon, and then eventually towards New Hope by 12:25. But as we go through the afternoon, I do expect those thunderstorm chances to increase, and also that window for severe weather opens up as well, talking around 2 o'clock this afternoon until 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. That's the main window to watch for severe storms. We'll walk you through future radar once again and talk about another round of strong storms for Friday, coming up in a few minutes.
All right, well, unfortunately, storm did leave some damage across our area yesterday. This is a photo of the parking lot at Guntersville Public Library. You can see that part of it is collapsed on that wall right there. There's no actual damage to the library itself. That was created to prevent flooding. That was put up to prevent flooding. So the city is working to clean it up. I don't know if they'll be able to fully repair it. But yes, so damage, we definitely did see that. Now is a perfect time, though, to go ahead and download that WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app. You can just use that QR code you see on your screen, hold your phone up to it, and you'll get that right to you, the palm of your hand, for free.
I was glued to that thing yesterday afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, it's about to get more expensive to cool your house this summer. Yeah, Huntsville Utilities now confirms it will soon have to raise those rates to offset the cost of generating that power we all need. Huntsville Utilities gets its power from TVA and says right now it's costing TVA a whopping 3 times what it usually does to generate electricity. Well, they blame that cost on fuel prices, inflation, and more people right now needing gas and electricity in the Rocket City.
The most significant impact is the cost of natural gas. Our power is provided to us by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and TVA in a demand response role uses natural gas for peak demand. And natural gas is about 3 times more expensive today than it was a little over a year ago.
Well, other utility companies across North Alabama also predict higher bills this summer. But you might be surprised how many little things you can actually do to keep those costs down. One of the first things I like to do in the morning when I get up, open those curtains. Let that morning sunshine in. Just one problem, that sunshine can heat up a house quickly. You might want to consider keeping these curtains closed, at least in the middle of the day when it's hottest outside. Now, I've got a lot of tips I've learned I want to share with you, but well, I'm having a little trouble doing it, so I've invited a couple of friends over you might recognize to help me. And it sounds like they're here. Come in.
It is muggy out there.
Steamy too. Ooh, it feels cool in here though, and a good way to keep that cool air inside is by checking the cracks between your windows and your doors. Maybe even using some caulk to help seal it on those windows and underneath your door.
Megan, Luke, I got some coffee brewing in the kitchen. Come on.
Well, cooking inside always heats up the house, so maybe this time of year, head outside. Fire up the grill, cook your dinner out there, and eat it inside where it's nice and cool.
Good idea.
And here's something you probably didn't think of. All those displays on the appliances, well, they generate heat, but they also burn electricity. So when you're not using them, turn them off or even unplug them.
One great way to circulate cool air throughout your house is to use ceiling fans. But this time of year, make sure that ceiling fan is set to turn counterclockwise. That drives that cool air down toward the floor where you can enjoy it. Bottom line, following some simple tips like these won't just help keep your house cool this summer. Could actually keep you from losing your cool when you get that utility bill. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Cheers indeed to a lower utility bill. We're all hoping that it stays low. We can do what we can to at least lower that. But unfortunately, there's not much we can do when it comes to gas prices, and we're just now 47 cents away from $5 a gallon gas in Alabama. AAA's latest survey shows prices are up 4 cents, rising to an average of $4.57 a gallon for regular. Nationally, well, it is worse. The average is more than $4.90. Well, rising gas prices, they're biting into everybody's budget, including home healthcare workers. Yeah, those prices could be scaring potential drivers away. Companies in Madison County say they're just getting by when it comes to getting to patients' homes to take care of them. Well, right now, they're making routes so drivers don't need to go as far to get to their clients they care for.
While the cost of things impacts us, this is what our passion is. So you figure out a way to make it happen.
who actually work for that company. The director says it's worth it to give the important care they give. Well, it will soon be easier for people driving an electric car to get a charge in Huntsville. This is the new Tesla supercharger station in the Mid-City District. Huntsville Utilities installed a transformer there that will power 12 chargers. Utility leaders say the chargers will be operational in just a few days.
The U.S. Treasury Secretary says inflation is at unacceptable levels. Testifying before Congress yesterday, Secretary Janet Yellen, says she expects inflation to remain high. She says the Federal Reserve is trying to bring prices down by raising interest rates, but some factors can't be controlled.
Putin's war in Ukraine is having impacts on energy and food prices globally. Inflation is really our top economic problem at this point, and that it's critical that we address it.
The Congressional Budget Office says high inflation will likely continue into next year.
Well, brand new at midday, accused killer Casey White will have to wait a while to learn if a judge plans to move his trial out of Lauderdale County. A judge just set that hearing for December 2nd. White's lawyer asked a judge to move that trial because of all the attention he got from his recent escape and recapture. A judge also approved a request that prosecutors let him know if they plan to seek the death penalty against him. Well, today, survivors and family members of the Uvalde school shooting and the massacre at a Buffalo supermarket are testifying before U.S. lawmakers. Among those speaking, a fourth grader who says she played dead during that Texas school shooting. Well, all this comes as lawmakers debate several gun-related bills right now that could make it harder for some people to get certain guns. Leaders from both parties say it's time to make a change.
Step one is to try to get a deal. As I've said repeatedly, I hope that'll be sooner rather than later.
As Majority Leader, I made clear that the Senate will vote on gun safety legislation. We know we won't get all of it done at once, but get something done.
Well, the U.S. House will soon vote on a bill next week to enhance background checks and require somebody to be 21 years old before they can buy a semi-automatic rifle.
We're learning new information about a man police say stabbed 4 people. Huntsville police say Dexter Houghton has a warrant for attempted murder out of Montgomery. He faces 4 assault charges for the stabbing at the intersection of Academy Drive and Maston Lake Road last week. A new COVID vaccine could soon be available.
How effective that new shot is when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. 11:43 on your Wednesday. Right now, the Senate getting ready to vote on a bill to help Iraq and Afghanistan veterans who suffer from exposure to toxic burn pits. That vote expected to happen before the end of the week. Well, the bill would actually give health care and benefits to millions of veterans who were exposed during their service in those countries. If it passes, though, it would still have to head back to the House for a final vote before the president could sign it into law.
A new COVID-19 vaccine may soon be on the market. Novavax's vaccine needs full approval from the FDA. FDA vaccine advisors voted to issue emergency use authorization for the shot yesterday. They say it's 90% effective among adults 18 to 65. It includes 2 doses given 3 weeks apart and then a booster 6 months later. Moderna says its updated vaccine could be a major game changer. The pharmaceutical company says the next generation vaccine is much more effective against the Omicron variant compared to the original.
Given the magnitude of effect, that 7-fold increase in antibody levels, we could, for the first time, be at a vaccine that is truly effective with once yearly dosing.
Moderna says it's already producing large quantities of the new shot and plans to submit the data to the FDA in the coming weeks. We hear about it. We're likely going to have a yearly shot similar to the flu that's variant specific, so expect it.
Well, low-income families now have easier access to baby formula in that nationwide baby formula shortage. The USDA right now offering waivers so families with WIC benefits can access that formula that's not normally available to them. Well, about half of infant formula in the U.S. right now bought by folks using WIC benefits, and about coming up on 1.5 million infants, what I mean to say. About 1.5 million babies are part of that program. Well, a company wants to send this spider-like rover to the moon.
How it can help make new discoveries. Uber and Waymo, a self-driving car company, plan to team up on fully autonomous. I was about to say automotive. Autonomous trucks. The companies say autonomous trucks would handle any long-haul driving and humans would handle shorter trips.
What exactly is an autonomous truck?
It goes on its own. Okay. The partnership is quite the turnaround considering the lawsuit that companies battled out a few years ago, which included an alleged plot to steal trade secrets and intellectual property.
Alleged plot.
A Japanese company is hoping its new machine will help scientists explore the moon.
Yeah, this is the new lunar rover developed by a company. Gittai, is that how you say it? Well, anyway, the spidery-looking rover called R1 could actually be exploring the moon in just a few years. For now, though, it's undergoing testing at a facility built to mimic the lunar surface built by the Japan Space Agency.
We help each other out here on this show.
Do.
We're a partnership. Okay, 11:48. Do you want to get our other partner in crime, Carson Meredith? Do you want to get a check of that forecast? We're dealing with some rain. Some of those storms, though, could potentially be a little severe.
He's a real criminal bringing this weather in here for us.
Yeah, I know. Guilty as charged the last 3 days, guys. And unfortunately, this active weather pattern is not going anywhere. But you know, the big difference today compared to yesterday and Monday is we're going to have a little more wind energy to work with. And what does that mean? That means at least a higher chance for maybe some more damaging wind gusts later on. WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network focusing on Decatur right now. Still some very heavy rainfall right on top of town, down towards Hartselle, Falkville as well. The heaviest rain, though, is going right along 565, getting close to County Line Road. This is going to be heading towards Toyota Field and the Arsenal, South Huntsville as well. But this storm does continue to weaken. So yes, we're going to have some heavy downpours in the metro for your lunch hour, maybe some lightning strikes as well. But we're not expecting anything severe just yet. Let's show you what's happening, though, in northern Mississippi. I mentioned a few minutes ago, we were watching that big cluster of storms in Arkansas a little while ago. It has completely fallen apart. But just ahead of what's left of that big cluster of storms, well, we've got new thunderstorms firing up. This one near New Albany, Mississippi, not severe yet, but I do expect these storms to intensify and increase in coverage throughout the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. So for your pool forecast, it's not the best day to be by the pool. I did drop our high temperature to around 86 degrees today, given we've had a little bit more cloud cover than expected throughout the day so far. Here's your updated severe weather outlook. This just came down about 15 minutes ago. No major changes. You notice that level 2 risk in orange stretches from northern Mississippi here into our Alabama counties as well. The further north you go, so if you're watching us in Fayetteville, Pulaski, Tennessee, Lawrenceburg, the threat is just a little bit lower. But we could all still see very heavy rain, flooding, and damaging wind gusts. Those are the two main concerns that we're watching for you. Some of those stronger storms, just like we saw here in Huntsville yesterday, could also have some large hail, quarter, maybe ping pong ball size hail. All of that is on the table. Tornado threat, it's very, very low. We're not too worried about tornadoes today. Here we go with future radar, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Start to see some of those first storms in northwest Alabama. The main window for severe storms is 2 o'clock today until 9 o'clock this evening. Look how these storms expand in coverage going through the evening hours. Once we lose that daytime heating, those storms will weaken. We'll have a few lingering showers overnight tonight. And look at this. Once we get towards Thursday morning, clouds start to move out, and tomorrow looks virtually dry. Only to have another round of storms on Friday, of course. So as far as the exact timing and locations of where we could see strong storms Friday, that's still a little bit iffy at this point. I think the better chances are to our south and west, but we'll also have to keep a close eye on that Friday system as well. But once we get past that Friday weather maker, the weekend, not too bad. 84 Saturday, 87 Sunday, staying mostly dry. But look at the 7-day forecast, especially early next week. The heat will be back in a big way. 91 Monday, and the hottest day of the year next Tuesday when we are at 94 degrees.
94. Whew. Well, Huntsville Animal Shelter wants one of these dogs become your new best friend.
And we're talking about the deal you can get when you adopt today when we come back.
It's National Best Friends Day.
And the Huntsville Animal Shelter wants to help you get a new best furry friend. So the shelter cutting adoption fees for most dogs down to just $10. That's a deal. That's good through Sunday, by the way. They hope that, of course, that price with for those lower adoption fees will actually help ease overcrowding in those shelters. When people come and get some of those
talking
dogs.
to people with Huntsville City Animal Services, they are very crowded right now.
Well, all adopted dogs will also get a city license, and they go home with a free bag of doggy food. So a great way to
Sweet.
start their new life with their new family. Two best friends are reunited after being apart for 3 months. Leon is a sled dog in Alaska. Ran away from a checkpoint during an Alaskan race in mid-March. He was 150 miles away from the closest town when, well, somebody tracked him down.
Look how happy he is.
Look at that. So we're just weeks away from this year's Guntersville Lake Hydrofest.
And organizers actually announced a record number of boats that will be on the water for this year's race. The 2-day racing event features some of the fastest racing on the water. Speeds can top 200 miles an hour. Hydrofest is June 25th and 26th. Well, check this out. You can see a gator in a pond at the Reserve Subdivision in Madison County. This is new drone video. It was shared by Letitia and Cedric Durr. It was actually taken last Thursday, but you've probably noticed we're getting a lot more reports of alligators. So if you do spot a gator, I mean, you could take a video, but keep your distance.
I think all this humidity and rain is exactly what these gators like.
Is it? Oh no, Carson.
Well, I think they're going to like their forecast this afternoon. We got that one thunderstorm starting to move into western Madison County. It is weakening, but I am now watching this severe thunderstorm just north of Tupelo, Mississippi. If it holds together, could be knocking on the door of the state line just after 1 o'clock. We'll be here all day to keep you updated.
Thanks so much for joining us for Midday News.
Next newscast is at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We hope you'll tune in for it. Have a great afternoon, everybody.